All right, guys, we are live. Shit. All right, boys and girls, I'm gonna take a little walk here. We're shooting live from Vermont. I'm up at the 32nd annual Hemingway Hunt Club annual game feast and hunting trip. We're gonna be pheasant hunting tomorrow, and it's a nice day up here, I'll tell you what. So I'm gonna sit down. All right, guys, let some people come up. Man, it's just beautiful up here. I'll tell you what, it is just absolutely. I'm gonna pan here, give you guys a little bit of what I'm looking at today. All right, so people are jumping in. So a lot of crazy stuff going on today in the world. I'm probably have to lose these sunglasses. As cool as I look in sunglasses, I can't see a damn thing. So the Berto, you are here, man. How you doing? We're in Paulette, just outside of Paulette, Vermont, and we just were down at the Orvis store in Manchester doing some damage, and we'll be up north, about an hour north, hunting pheasant tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night will be a huge game feast dinner. There's 11 of us here at the house. I'm gonna pan this around. That's a big Airbnb that we rented for the weekend, and it's beautiful. So things going on in the world. How about the election? Was pretty interesting. That lieutenant governor in Virginia, she is going to scare the crap out of the Democrat Party. I don't normally get political, but holy cow, I listened to her speak, and she's an amazing lady, and she's gonna put some hurt on some stupid liberal policies. I think it's pretty amazing what happened, and nobody anticipated how that was going to swing. And I really think it was the education component. You know what? We all tolerate a lot of stuff, but you start messing with our rights to how we have our kids educated, you're hitting something that everybody explodes on. That's just plain crazy. But so anyhow, this is Gun Lunch Live. If you've not tuned in before, I do live every other Friday. I am the CEO of SecureIt, and in the firearms industry, most of the CEOs are pretty insulated. They don't. They kind of hide themselves. They just don't want to deal with the anti-gun, so they don't want to deal with the hassles of sometimes being in a gun industry. We take a very different approach, and I try to be as accessible as possible, because our goal, SecureIt's goal, our mission is to change the way America thinks about firearm storage. The gun safes are dinosaurs. They've not changed in 50 years. The interiors don't work. The materials inside are corrosive. There's some videos and information on our website that go into more detail about that. So we're bringing 20 plus years of military experience to the consumer market with a lightweight, modular, flexible storage solution. We want to change the way America thinks about gun storage. Big, heavy is bad. Modular, lightweight is so much better. So guys, if guys have any questions whatsoever, hey Alex, how you doing? By all means, enter. I will answer any question. That's the Gun Lunch Live guarantee. The other things going on with SecureIt right now, we've got a lot of moving parts. A lot of neat things are happening. Our handgun storage solution is moving through prototyping right now. We've got lights coming for the Answer and Agile cabinets. We've got a big meeting coming up for some other product development. Ron, our head of product development, will be in the office next week, and we're going to hash out. We're looking at a very lightweight strong, modular, very fast access AR-15 platform piece for a home. Be a small shotgun or AR-15. It's going to be kind of a new spin on fast access and the ability to put it in some pretty neat locations that I'd like to have out third, fourth quarter next year. I'm not sure it'll take that long. Do you employ over 100 people? You know what? The questions pop up. I'm not sure if I can get to them because they pop up and disappear, and sometimes I don't see them. Some chat, live chat, all messages. So do we employ over 100 people? No, we do not. We're in the 20s right now. Believe it or not, when you look at the size of the company and our growth rate, we don't have a lot of people that work for us. We're extremely efficient. We've got a really, really good crew of people. As I always refer to SecureIt, and everybody in the company knows this, we are a band of misfits out to change the world. And I look for people that are just different, that just do things differently. And that's kind of what the company is, and that's kind of what we have. And we get an amazing amount of stuff done with fairly limited resources. But that's what's kind of going on in the company. We've got, hunting season's coming up. Is your supply chain hurting like everyone? It's not. There are challenges. The ops side of the business anticipated this very effectively. And we actually started bulking up on inventory this summer, knowing fourth quarter was going to be busy. And no, we're fine. It's going to be close at Christmas, but you know what? We've got things coming in. The cost to move containers is extremely expensive right now. The cost of shipping, moving stuff in and out of warehouses, those costs are gone through the roof. And you know what? It's happening. Our prices are fixed. We're not raising any prices. We're gonna run through this. I think it's temporary. I think eventually things will get back to normal, but it is what it is. Shipping to customers, we're actually improving. We just opened a new warehouse in Memphis, Tennessee, or just outside of Memphis. We're going to be opening up a warehouse in Nevada. I'm not exactly sure where what city that's in. We've got the ops and logistics side running point on that, but splitting up and opening up additional warehouses just makes shipping to us easier. Tom's on the road and against a big blue sky. Oh, this is Seth, the moderator, putting a little note up explaining, because I'm not explaining. So yeah, I'm up in Vermont on my annual Hemingway Hunt Club game dinner. This is a group of guys been meeting for 33 years. First weekend in November, and we get together and we're going to cook up a dinner tonight. Tomorrow will be pheasant hunting. Tomorrow night will be a incredible feast. A lot of these guys are very good cooks. And we've got some very good wine, a lot of beer. We've got some bourbons that are extremely rare and interesting. And I actually brought a 1963 Bordeaux to open. Not sure that one's going to be good or not, but we're going to try it out. I've been a member of this group since 2009. When I moved to New York, I became friends with Larry, who's the president. They call him El Presidente of the club. It's pretty informal. But he invited me to go one year, and I became part of the group. I think I'm the only guy the outside guy that's done it. These guys have all been doing this since they were in high school together. And it's a pretty amazing group of guys. But this is Vermont. If you've not been there, I'll take a little, being that we are remote and semi-mobile, I'm gonna spin the camera around, give you guys a shot at what I'm looking at. I'm getting a moderator. Hold the camera steady. Dude, it's windy, it's hard. Okay, hang on. How's that? That's steady. I'm trying to hold it steady. I'm gonna get this camera mounted on something, I think is what I'm gonna do. I think it'll work better. But that's our view, and it's nice being up here. It's a crazy drive up here, I'll tell you what. driving up the driveway. It's like 1.5 miles, and you're kind of feeling like you're in Deliverance. So I'm going to go do a little change-a-roo here. We're going to be shooting some, one of the beauties of this place is we're setting up, we got the trap set up. We're going to be shooting trap. It's going to be bumpy for a minute till I get squared away here. Give me just a second. There we are. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we are fixed position. Somebody's saying nice hat. Thank you, Janet. It is. I picked this hat up. My son goes to school in London, and I was there visiting, actually getting him squared away into an apartment, and we went to Lock & Company, which is one of the oldest continuously operating businesses probably in Europe. It's a hat company in London, and the guy at the running, he was this really pompous Brit, funny guy. So lady went downstairs to get the size hat for me to fit my melon head, and I asked him, I said, I guess you guys have been here a while. And he said, well, yes, we've been here since 1537. Before that, we were across the street. The company goes back to the 1400s, making hats. So I picked up this this kind of a different kind of a hat for me, but I just thought it was kind of cool. More visitors. So if anybody has any questions whatsoever about the world, just fire away. Also, we can follow up. What's going on, Mike?
How are you?
I'm good.
I know you're on a live cast. I was just coming to see the view.
Yeah, you got to come see the view. It's pretty neat. I didn't know how good the view was because we got in last night. It was kind of, and that road in the dark is a little.
All your peasants down there.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to set up, I think we're going to shoot trap. Probably, we can sit on the back deck. Yeah, I think so.
How long are you going to be?
I'm going to run probably about 30 minutes. Okay. Another 30, 40. If
you got lunch.
You've got lunch, and if somebody could bring me a,
beverage.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little ice and a little bourbon. Okay. I think that would, guys, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm on vacation here. I'm thinking just a little.
Swag to sport.
There you go, yeah. So, Alec Baldwin, we talked about that last show, and I shared my views on it, and I'd said, I said I couldn't believe there'd be a round in the gun, that something was in there, but ends up that was a live round. That's when you look at the news coming out of this, the level of firearms stupidity is unbelievable. You know, these guys were the prop guys were I guess prop guys are one of his doubles. They were taking the guns out and plinking with them in the desert and then coming back in to shoot the movie. I can't imagine in a more serious production that anything like that could possibly happen. It's shocking. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm not sure if a law was broken, because I'm not sure you can be criminally stupid or not. I just don't know. I'm getting some thumbs up on the bourbon, and yeah, we've got a bunch of Boss. We got some Boss Hog, which is really rare. Which election had the most impact on gun rights? You know, I'm not sure if there was. It has specifically, I think the fact that Republicans took seats that the Democrats just thought they owned is just a signal for what's going to happen in 2 years. And I'll tell you what, I don't think the Second Amendment is under a lot of threat right now. This is my personal view. If you think I'm wrong, by all means, blast me. Is in the last year and a half, we've had record first-time gun buyers. When you look at the data, and it was published by one of the online ammo companies, published where they were sending the most ammo, and it was going to states that were very liberal. And when you look at gun buying, first-time buyers, you've got a lot of liberal Democrats living in these cities that were anti-gun, and then they looked out their windows one day and they saw riots in the streets, and they saw their city council saying, we're going to defund police and get rid of police, and they realized for the first time what personal safety and personal security requires. And they went out and they bought firearms for the first time. So the Democrats, I think, are a little afraid of pushing hard on gun control because they don't know how many of their voters went out and bought guns. Because if you kind of, I don't know, just kind of putting your test in the waters here, I don't see anybody talking about it. I I don't watch network news. I don't watch Fox. I don't watch CNN. I try to avoid those. I find all of them, conservative or liberal, it's not news. It's just opinions. They're just telling you what to think or what does this mean? I'll figure out what it means. Just tell me what happened. But I personally think the Second Amendment is in a stronger position now than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and for long term. And I think that trend is going to continue. I think the gun industry needs, and the gun owners need to do a better job with the arguments. The liberals want to keep the arguments on really silly things, and to keep off of the basics of what the Second Amendment is. If a liberal, comes at you with you don't need an assault rifle, AR-15, that's an assault rifle. Don't get into the argument, it's an Armalite rifle. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. It doesn't matter what you call it. That's not the argument. The argument is about the right to keep and bear arms. And the Second Amendment does not give you that right. The Second Amendment doesn't give us the right to bear arms. Read the Second Amendment. What it says is, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed on. The right is implied. It's a birthright. When you're born in America, an American citizen, you have the right, by being born here or being naturalized here, you have the right to defend yourself. You have the right to own a gun, to defend yourself, and you have the right to defend yourself against a runaway government. That was the purpose of the amendment, was you'd never have people ruled by a government. You'd have a government ruled by the people. And the amendment says that right shall not be infringed on. It doesn't give you the right. The right is given when you're born here. It was written brilliantly. It really was, for those reasons. But I do think that going forward right now, I think we're in a better position. And I think people are getting smarter about the argument. And there's going to be some changes. You're going to start seeing more and more changes in some of these things. We're going to do our part. If anybody hasn't ever listened to, I recommend everybody tune into John Bartolo's show. He does a podcast, and he does a lot of MMA guys. He gets a lot of fighting guys. He just had Buck Sexton on his show. I did his show a couple of months ago, but he's a good voice of reason. He's a good voice for the Second Amendment. He takes a very different take, and he pisses off a lot of people, but that's okay. So I recommend everybody check out John Bartolo's show. The episode with Sig was incredible. It was really, really good. And he's got several of his episodes are just very, very good. What we got? I'm getting a problem with the pop-up. Seth, you're moderating. The bubbles are popping up with questions, and they're so small. I'm having a hard time. They go away so fast. Oh, here we are. I just turned it on, so now I've got more things going on. Guns. Look at that. Why does that do that? Yes, it's weird. They top chat in 2A space. Do you think it's best to avoid being an FFL? Isn't there a little it's hard to. I'm sorry. It comes up so small. Avoid being an FFL. Which would leave them all up. But, it's interesting. And Bartolo talks about this. He goes, why is it when we have a gun rights issue, when there's something gun-related in the news, they always bring on a Navy SEAL or they bring on a retired cop to talk about it? And nothing against either of these guys. These guys, they've earned a lot of respect on everybody's front. But when there's gun rights issues and gun issues, why don't they have an FFL talk? Those are the people whose livelihoods depend on our industry. Why don't they involve the FFL owners, the FFLs, in more dialogue? Because those are the guys who, their livelihood is this industry. And taking these rights away from the people directly affects their ability to earn a living. So, I don't know a lot about, we're not FFL. I've thought about getting an FFL, not to be a gun seller, but just for the purpose, because we do get in a lot of firearms and guns. We get things in for testing, for work, in terms of storage with the military. And I thought about if that would make it easier for me to bring guns in and out. Certainly in New York State, if I was an FFL, I could get a class license that would allow me to bring in a lot of different firearms. You can't take them out shooting unless I'm unless I'm selling it to law enforcement. But I don't know if we're gonna do that or not. There's an old adage in business: do what you know, and we know how to store guns, and that's kind of what we do. But all right, guys, if you're just tuning in, if you haven't been here, I'm remote this week. I'm in Vermont for the 33rd annual Hemingway Hunt Club and game dinner weekend. We're going to be out pheasant hunting tomorrow morning. Got dogs, guys. It's gonna be a really fun day, and we will get back in noon, sometime in the afternoon, and we're gonna have one amazing dinner tomorrow night. Half the guys here are gourmet cooks, and we've got from 5 varieties of oysters to all sorts of game dinner stuff. I'm not even sure what the menu looks like. Hey Derek, how's it going, man? Yeah, it is really pretty up here right now. A lot of the leaves have fallen. I think like 3 weeks ago, this place would have been on fire with, let me spin this around a little bit. You got some of it. But look at the difference. Which is the real truck? Yeah, it's sweet. It's nice being up here. I'll tell you that. For sure. So what else can we talk about today? We've got the Dodge Ram. Oh, is that a good truck? I drive a Ford F-250. That's my vehicle. I've got a 2019 250 diesel. I love it. I pull some heavy stuff with it, and it's been a really good truck for me. I've owned Dodges, I've owned Chevys. They've all been good trucks. There's that. One's better than the other. This is better. I like right now these model years. I like Ford trucks. I had a Raptor, and I had an F-150. I had a Raptor, and now I've got this one, and they work really well. I think I had a Dodge when I lived in California. I really liked it, and the challenge with Dodge trucks here in the Northeast, they seem to rust faster around the beds, around the back beds. The way the ice and salt gets blasted up in there. It seems like they corrode faster. That could be my opinion. I think they've got a really good engine. They do a pretty good job with it. But we're all going to be driving electric trucks in the not too distant future. That is coming. And I've heard a lot of people bitch about electric trucks and complain, I'm never gonna drive one. That's what I tell everybody. My brother has a Tesla. And I wanted to hate it, and I jumped in it for a ride, and it was amazing. It's an amazing car. I think a pickup truck with electric, the instant torque is just going to be a game changer. They've got to get you've got to get the distance, how long you can drive that thing down. But I think it's coming. It's my prediction. We're going to make a prediction right now. Electric cars come much faster than anybody thinks. You'll see some gas stations closing within 5 years because of lack of demand. Not all of them, but there's more gas stations than we'll need. And once that starts happening and consumption and the volume of gas being required starts dropping, the cost per gallon will go up because they're selling less of it. And you're going to see as gas drops off and the price goes higher, it's going to push more people to electric. And you're going to see a tipping point where it's going to go extremely fast. That's my personal view based on nothing but my deep-seated arrogance about knowing what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to electric cars, and I don't own an electric car. I am building a 66 Ford Falcon that I did look at putting an electric motor in, but instead I'm building a 289 V8 for it. In fact, I'm going to be posting on my private channel a video series on building a Ford 289. I've never built an engine before. I've rebuilt a lot of parts of a car. I've done suspensions. I've done interiors. I've painted cars. Over the years I've restored several cars, but I've never built a motor. So we shot the series and pulling it and stripping it down. It's going to a machine shop. We're going to put a stroker kit in it, kick it up from 289 to 331 cubic inches. It'll be have a little hotter cam and probably a Holley EFI fuel injection system. I'm targeting 350 horsepower in a 66 Falcon and have a 5-speed transmission. I'm going to do a 4-link rear end. It should be a crazy little hot rod, and we will I'm gonna have the video on that. I want to get that message back up. Somebody just put something in chat. I gotta see it. Candace Owen did a quick message on IG about the future cyber pandemic. What's your thoughts? You know, I'm not that up on it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure I can comment. If you got a question about it, I'm not that up on that. I do like Candace. I think she does. She's a lightning rod. I mean, she speaks. I do like her a lot, but I've not been exposed to that one. My channel is linked to the SecureIt channel, and I'm gonna be making some changes to it in the future. And we've got the series I'm shooting on the SecureIt Ranch. We've got our 500-acre hunting preserve we're building, and I'm going to do a series of videos on some of the stuff we're doing. I like to work on stuff. I like to build stuff. So I'm going to build a 55-gallon drum, a wood-burning stove, and we're going to build that in the shop. I'll shoot a video series on that. I'm going to put in a off-the-grid solar system next summer. We've got the big cook-off coming. I wanted to get it done this year, and we had I talked about last week, we had an accident at the ranch last 3-4 weeks ago. A branch came out of a tree, just randomly a branch broke out of it. It was a dead tree. We were in the woods, pretty thick, and it was an ash tree, which has the ash borer, and it came down and hit my hunting partner, broke 2 vertebrae in his neck, about took his ear off, and he was 8 hours of surgery, and he's gonna have full recovery. And the surgeon was just shocked that he was able to walk, and he walked out of the hospital 4 days later, and he's going to recover. But it was a crazy freak accident. I kind of got things goofed up for us a bit. So we're going to do a gun-safe cook-off, and we're going to prove once and for all what I've been saying for a long time. Fire rating is bullshit. Can we say that? Can we? Fire rating is nonsense. It is absolute nonsense in a gun-safe. It's fake. I don't believe it, and I'm going to prove it. We're also going to do an ammo cabinet test that we'll shoot that in the spring as well. There's a lot of prep work to do a proper cook-off. I've basically got to build a room that simulates a house, and it's going to take some time. It's just something I can't throw together quick, so we are going to look at doing that as cinder block. Either cinder block, or we're going to do it with wood with dry. We got to figure out a way to contain it like a house and have 2x4s and basically simulate a house and cook off a safe. And we're going to time it. We're going to say, okay, the safe says it's rated for 1 hour, and we're going to cook it off and see what happens. And based on what I believe and what I've seen in the past with things we've done, I'm thinking 12 to 15 minutes tops before the safe is cooked. But we're going to prove that when that's coming up in the spring. And then, other stuff going on. It's getting cold. I'll be up in a tree stand as soon as I get back. Bow season's going, the rut's going. I hunt with the crossbow now because unfortunately, I got partial tears in my rotator cuffs, and I can no longer draw a bow. But, so I've got it's a Ghost 360 crossbow, and I will be up. I'm going to bring the GoPro camera with me. I'll shoot some footage up there, and we got a 10-point on camera. I've got a 6-point, a couple of them. My daughter and I saw, we counted 7 4-point bucks. There were more behind them. There were just huge mass of them about 3-4 weeks ago, a little bachelor party. So there's a lot of deer up there right now. So it should be a really good year. So what else we got for questions going on in the world? What do people want to talk about? What's been happening? I'm up in Vermont, disconnected from the world. The Wi-Fi doesn't work in the house, so we're actually using a cell phone. I'm using my cell phone, and the service seems to be good enough. Have you ever given thought to a 4-gun safe like the Agile, but narrower? Yes. We actually are talking about the capacities on, we're talking about that right now, on looking at some different sizes. So yeah, those conversations are being had, And it's interesting. The foreground, we were talked about, a going lighter, going bigger. There's challenges when you're going with a modular design. Scaling the size there can be some challenges to it. Do you make it all welded? Do you make it something that has to be assembled? We're looking at taking the answer line into an assembled technology where it ships flat and you build it. We're patented the Agile cabinet, the ultralight gun safe. That system is something that we've patented. That way of joining metal. What do you use to shoot clays? Just got a Beretta. You know what I've got? I'm not sure I can touch guns. Last time I touched guns in a live broadcast, they shut me down. I've got a Bettensoli. It's a little company. They're in Brescia, Italy. It looks a lot like a Beretta, priced about the same. And I just got it. I've used it. I've gone out trap shooting with it once, and I've never owned a nice trap gun or a nice clay. It's just a nice double barrel. We'll call it a gentleman's shotgun. I've always hunted with either a Remington 870 or I've got a Versamax that I use for geese and ducks. Versamax is just a fantastic gun. 870 is like the Volkswagen Bug of shotguns. It's just a great gun. I'm just one person, but I very much prefer a welded safe. I'd rather pay extra shipping. Okay, you know what? Answer safes. I'm with you. We'll try to make things for everybody. It's interesting. I'm not sure welded is stronger. What's interesting also is there's a lot of safes out there now that are welded safes, but they're not. And it hasn't been talked about. I'm going to try to prove it, where they're taking the safes instead of welding the sides. This is like big Liberty safes. The metal's cut with grooves like fingers. They put the metal together and they turn it and they twist and they turn it, and it locks in. It looks, and they sand it and paint it so it looks welded, but it's actually a interlocked. I'm not sure what they call it because it's not just like a log cabin, but it's notched so it doesn't come apart. But I think we'll test it. If you take a hammer and from the inside, again, I'm not sure that's a security concern or not, but there's changes in manufacturing. You're trying to get costs down, and welding is slow. It distorts metal. On a big safe, there's a lot to deal with. And what's this? Tell you some gun lunch. Oh, you're putting up the note of what's going on. It's welding's tough on big safes. It's hard to do a long bead and not distort the metal. There's all sorts of things going to it. Going unwelded has some advantages. We're gonna play. We're experimenting it right now. It may not be stronger, but it gives me the warmth. Yes, it does. I have I've got a MIG welder that I use a lot. In fact, I think every guy in America should own good cordless tools. I've got 20 volt DeWalt's I like. There's a lot of good brands. And a good little, small, gas-fed, gas MIG welder. There's so many things that happen in a house, in your life, with your car, that when you got a welder, you can just fix it quick. You can just zap it up and, or make, I modify tools. When I'm working on an engine, I can't reach something. I buy cheap Harbor Freight set of wrenches and stuff, and I'll cut one and weld it to a funky angle to reach a difficult bolt. And I throw it back in the box of Harbor Freight wrenches. I do that all the time. In fact, I've got a video on that talking about Harbor Freight and the advantages of owning. I've got a decent set of Craftsman tools, but I've got several kits of cheap Harbor Freight stuff that I use if I'm out, if I'm going outside, if I'm doing things, kind of grab and go, and you don't really care about them because you spent $19. But anyhow, it's for guys just tuning in. I'll do another quick pan here. I'm in Paulette, Vermont, for the 33rd Hemingway Hunt Club weekend game dinner. We've got 11 people here today, and we're gonna be out pheasant hunting. Let me flip this around, we'll be out pheasant hunting tomorrow and having a incredibly good dinner. I thought I had one of the guys bringing me a glass of bourbon, but on the rocks, I thought I'd sip. We've got some Boss Hog, which is really rare, and several other nice bourbons and cigars. He drank yours. Thank you. Yeah. Either that or a nice cigar would be nice too. But yeah, because I'm in Vermont, I can drink and smoke and swear and carry on. Who's gonna give me a hard time? But industry call out. We haven't done that yet, and I apologize. I'm kind of all over the place. Normally, I've got a laptop. I'm running a camera. I've got an iPad that's got all my notes and everything. I'm sitting here looking at a phone leaned against an iPad that's turned off. I've got no Wi-Fi. I've just got my phone, so I'm kind of tight. But industry call out is going to be focused on the NRA and the board of directors of the NRA. This is out to you guys. Stop thinking about yourselves and start thinking about the rank and file members of the NRA, because the NRA is going to die a slow, painful death if you don't get things turned around. Leadership has to change. LaPierre, I think, has to go, is my opinion. I don't think he's operating in the best interests of the NRA. He seems to be operating in the best interests of himself. He is he's the Nancy Pelosi of the gun industry. I mean, not politically, but it seems to me that he is just out now for himself to be this guy who's in charge of this big group and spend a lot of money. The NRA is spending a ton of money on lawsuits. However, the ILA, the legislative side of the NRA, is still doing very good work. If you want to contribute to help fund and support legislation that protects our Second Amendment, go online and Google ILA. You can donate money to the NRA, the ILA division of the NRA, and you can donate money. It's specifically to be used for the legislative branch. I think they do good work. We're going to be talking about some other groups to get involved with in upcoming episodes on things we can do to protect our Second Amendment. But as of now, and for people who don't know, we have a huge plaque in our office, a thank you from the NRA. We were a title sponsor for the Friends of the NRA, that whole program, and we probably donated in dollars and in product close to $500,000 to the NRA, to that program. We just gave that. We were supplying them with fast boxes and cabinets for giveaways, and they were selling them for raffles. They generated probably in excess of $1 million with our product, which we gave them, and it was to the tune of $500,000 worth of stuff. They probably generate more money than me, I think about it. But so we did a lot of work to support the NRA. And at this point, we're not doing that. NSSF we support, and the ILA I'll support personally. The company is not, though, right now. We're just we're going to wait and see what happens. We're hoping that the board will do the right thing, make some leadership changes, and get that organization back to what it's supposed to do. I think the training side, the firearms instructor side of the NRA is extremely, it's well run. I think that's a good group of guys, and it's a great way of knowing that you're getting good instruction. But the BS at the top has to stop. So that is an industry call out for this week. Again, anybody have any questions? If you're tuning in, if you haven't been here, I am the CEO of SecureIt, and I try to make myself accessible as I can. I believe that this industry is too inaccessible, the leadership of the industry. So I always say I'll answer any question. I can talk about almost any subject. I don't worry about talking points about pissing people off, about, be careful what you say, political correctness. I'm not politically correct. I don't care. We run our company. We're a different company. We run a very different company. And we're going to keep doing that because it works. It works for us. Everybody that works at SecureIt is, they're all different. I mean, they're probably watching now. You guys aren't normal, but that's all right. Lawsuits against NRA about campaign. That's a challenge. How much money that you donate to the NRA is going to fight legal battles? It's I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's other things that are in the works. There's other groups, and we'll talk about it. I don't have access to a lot of information now to share just because of my limited resources for being online. But in upcoming episodes, I'll get in more detail about it. But I'll tell you what, man, sitting outside, it's probably 40 degrees right now. My hands are getting a little cold, but it's amazingly nice out. It's nice to be outside when it's cold out, but there's very little breeze and a nice sun. Tomorrow morning's gonna be a beautiful morning. We'll be out, be on the road at about 7. We'll be hunting at about 8:30 till about noon, and hopefully we'll bring back. I'd like to bring back 20 pheasant, maybe. We'll see how it goes. It should be good. Pheasant hunting is a lot of fun. We get 2 dogs, guides, and it's fun to watch the dogs work. If you've never done it, and you're in an area where they have preserves that do pheasant hunting, like field hunts, I recommend it highly. It is a really fun afternoon. But so what else are we talking about today? Who's got questions? Who wants to jump in? This is a forum for everybody to be part of. You know, the idea with SecureIt is that. Oh, Stephen Walrath. Sorry I'm late. I was designing a gun wall. Stephen Walrath is the Viking. He's he runs tech support at SecureIt, and he was busy working on a gun wall. He does a lot of the big custom gun wall design work, but I'm unable to bring him on today because of the connectivity. I'm literally shooting this on my cell phone, so I don't have the ability to do the split screen and the. I'm trying to see I've got my tools available is very limited, so I can't. Steven, sorry, man, but you're not going to be on this week. But if he was on, he'd talk about something really interesting, and the likes would go through the roof. But at some point, we're going to have a contest, and the winner is going to get to cut his hair, because he's got this thing going about, and he literally is turning into a Viking, because he hasn't cut his. I don't know how long it's been since you cut top of your hair. Post in a note, Steven. When's the last time you cut the top of your hair? Because I got to believe it's got to be a couple of years. Are you making a lighting system? Yeah, we talked about that. We are. It's in the works. We've got prototypes in. Ron, our head of product development, will be in the office. He lives outside of Indianapolis, and he'll be in the office all next week, and that's one of the things that we're going to be wrapping up. It is coming. Steven just posted up. He stopped cutting his hair when COVID started, so the final result of the pandemic is going to be his head. We'll see how that goes. But I tell you what, boys and girls, we're going to be. We got a clay launcher, and let me set this up and spin this around. So we're going to be setting up the launcher somewhere out over here in the corner. I'm shooting that way, and there's a big deck on the back of the house, and we're going to be sitting up there shooting clays here this afternoon, and I think it's like the perfect setting for it. Oh, I got my glasses. I got a note here. I'll buy that lighting system. You know what? It's going to be simple. I mean, everything we do is always, if you walk into the office, a big sign, innovate and simplify. If a solution is not simple, I mean, it's easy to make things that are complex. The challenge is, how do you make it so it's really simple and works? So we will have it out, and it should work well. I always tell everybody, you know, the drive force with SecureIt is, it's not a gun safe. It's a modular system that allows you to build storage for you. You know, in the Marine Corps, they call it the Tetris rack. There's some of the the Special Forces guys call it the Lego rack. Tetris rack, they start at the bottom building with bins and storage and trays, or the Lego rack, where the guys inside the big military cabinets are big Model 84s. There's a lot of real estate in there, and these guys build some pretty incredible custom storage solutions. So we supply a tool that allows you to build your safe, as opposed to buying a 50-year-old design, big metal box full of carpeting and glue with little bitty W's that don't fit guns and don't really work well. You need a good system to hold 22 pistols like your current pistol system. Well, I think that's done. I might be speaking out. We prototyped. We went to a different way of doing the peg. The concern is the peg, when you're going that small, flexes, and to get it right, it's a challenge. But I think that we are going to be going to a brass, or there's an insert rod that we're going to use that won't damage the barrel. That was the challenge. And I do believe that it is, the prototyping is done. We're not in production on it, but it's coming. It will be available. We're looking at a couple of other, we're looking at the horizontal mounts, the pistol pegs, trying to go to a more modular system where it attaches to the panel, and then you have the option of pistol, horizontal. It's a one piece that snaps on the panel, and it takes different brackets to hold different things. It would get the cost down, and again, make the system a little more flexible, a little more modular. So you're buying one bracket, which you can store a pistol with, or change that bracket. Now you're storing a horizontal rifle. So I don't know exactly where. I'll know where we stand on that next week when Ron's in the office. But I know that's something that I think we're pretty close on. And we're in installation with our Marine Corps project in Okinawa. That's going gangbusters right now. We picked up an $8 million contract to rebuild the armories for Okinawa. I want to get over there with COVID. I really can't travel there right now, and shoot some video and get some footage, because it's an incredible system. What we did is not just weapon racks, but it's modular drawer cabinets, all lined with foam, and the foam is all custom cut so that all of their optics and all their equipment fits in perfectly. I'll make a deal. You send me the prototype 22 and I'll evaluate it for you. If I like it, I'll send. All right. I don't know what the status of that is. Send an email. It's a Glockster for kids. That's funny. Send an email to, I guess, support at SecureItTactical.com or service and reference the show and reference my name, and they'll get it to me. Let's see what we can do. I'm up for that. I mean, field test it. I don't know where we are with the product, but get a note to me, and because you're the first guy to ask, hell yeah, why not? So it pays to be the first guy to ask. We're gonna get 1,000 people saying they support at SecureItTactical.com. I think you guys can see the notes. And Julie, wow, very pretty, beautiful looking. We had a very heavy. I'm not sure. I couldn't see that note popped up. That was a text message just came in from my wife. I'm not sure if she's watching. She's down in D.C. with my youngest son, and he had kind of doing a getaway weekend. He's in college in southern New York State, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and they were going down to D.C. while I came up here. But guys, look, it's getting. I'm not gonna say it's getting late. It's not. It's getting beautiful. But they've got lunch inside, and I'm getting hungry because. Gun lunch, normally I'm doing some food, but I was in a kind of, we were scrambling to get the show going because of lack of connectivity, and I was down at the Orvis store doing some shopping because it's the Orvis store, and this is their main store, and they have an outlet center. I picked up some shirts and shoes, so I was late getting back up here, and we kind of scrambled, so I didn't get to do my lunch while we're doing gun lunch with Tom, but we are doing incredible view lunch with Tom. I'm going to do one last pan of this thing, spin this around. For those of you who are just joining in, I'm in Paulette, Vermont. We're on a pheasant hunting trip, and just picked up an Agile Pro. When's handgun secure box being launched? Official date right now is June 1st, but we're going to look at an earlier program for we'll call it the Inside Cool SecureIt people. So stay tuned. I'll have announcements on here. And let me spin this back around. This is my holder. Got another vehicle here. More people. Are you FedEx? Yeah. Oh, this is great. Yeah, right up to the door. Our oysters are here. We had one of the guys at Oysters FedExed overnight from the Pacific Northwest, and we're like, "You got oysters shipped all the way here overnight?" And we all started laughing. But damn, the guy just. I'll tell you what, man. I'm doing a live broadcast. FedEx rocks. Have a good day. What's that? We sure will, man. Thank you very much. So, Yeah, you know what? That's pretty freaking amazing. That only in America, out of Northwest, way up in the northwest tip of Washington, and he's got 3 or 4 variety. Our oysters are here. So anyhow, does anybody have any final questions? Ron, having for lunch today. Oh, will Ron, I don't know, having for lunch today. FedEx just lost 100 rounds of 3. Oh man, 100 rounds of 308. That's worth like $1 million. But all right, guys, I'm gonna be wrapping up now. Does anybody have any final questions or thoughts? Because I'm gonna go and get some lunch. I'm gonna go shoot some clays. Then I'm gonna have a cigar with some bourbon. That's my plan today. I think it's a good plan. Going through my top chat, we've got those are some expensive oysters. Yeah, you know what? I think they are. I'm going through the notes and of what's going on. So without any further ado, anybody have any last questions for me? I will answer any question. And that's scary. Just let me know. But guys, we will be back in 2 weeks. Now, a couple of changes. I think we're going to move the live show will be on SecureIt, but once the show's done, the actual video of the show I think is going to reside on my personal channel. And then I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. Who's your favorite sister? Oh, that's funny. Garrett Dunn is on. He's my sister's one of the sons. Good to have you on the show, man. I didn't know you guys were watching. That's cool. Hope things are going well up in. I'm actually getting pretty close to your part of the world, up in Vermont here for the weekend. So, anyhow, guys, it's an incredible day here. If you got sunshine where you are, get the hell outside. Life is short. You've got to be outside as much as possible. So I'm going to sign off and. What's the way? Gun launch time. Oh, that's a note from our moderator, Seth. Seth lives in a cave in outside of Phoenix. It's 110 degrees, and he. You never know who's watching you. That's scary. Yeah, it is. So, guys, comment on the hat. This is a new for me. It's a different style. Janet gave me a hard time when I bought it, and. So that's my hat. It's mine. I'm sticking with it. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. You guys, everybody have a great weekend. Get outside, do some fun stuff. I'm going to be out in the deer stand for the rest of the week when I get back. And hopefully I'll have some video for that. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks. All be good. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye. I'm not sure how to turn off this broadcast. That's really funny. Do you want to stop streaming? All right, guys. Bye-bye.